Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. So this is my third video. So let's recap for a few minutes what we have been learned from the last few uh, parts of my session on the videos. The first we have created the Google instance. In the second part we have been created the Google VM instance, and we configure Windows 2016 data center. Then we install remote desktop manager. We configure the Windows 2016 data center server using the remote desktop manager. So now we can able to enter into the Windows 2016 server. So now today we'll look into the uh, part of Active Directory, the domain controller installation, which is very important. I hope you liked the previous videos, and I guess this is the video where the important topics will be started, and hope you all enjoy. So let's start. We'll start it from the very beginning. Let's open the Google Chrome. As I already said, you need to rewrite Google Cloud login. The same thing. Click on sign up free. I already given my credentials, no need to give the same again. Parallelly, alright, so click on go to console. Here what I said, you need to write compute engine. Sorry, you need to be write compute engine, so it will come. So if you can able to search, and also on the left side of the screen you can see the compute engine, right? So compute engine is there. Alright, so here we created Windows 2016, and we have given the name as Windows, so don't be confused. So this is Windows 2016 data center we have been configured. So yesterday, before just completion of the session, we have stopped the VMware instance in Google Cloud. Let's start it again. This is very important, how to stop and how to start. Let's start it. Once it will be start, you can see this will be in green. If the color is in green, then you need to understand that server is in on start condition or is in up condition. So let's start it. So once it will be up, you can see immediately the external IP will be reflected here. So without external IP, you could not able to communicate with this Windows server using your GUI. What is the GUI we have been installed? That is remote desktop manager. So see, 38 34.80.211.226 is the external IP. So whole Google platform is a dynamic the infrastructure has been built in a dynamic scenario. Based on that, the IPs every day is been provided by in dynamic nature, so IPs are changing from time to time. So let's see what was the IP was given yesterday. If the IP will be same for today's IP, then you can able to connect, else we need to change the IP address. So let's open the remote desktop manager. Oh, so we have created one more server which may be deleted, we have not saved. Okay, let's create it again. Art server. What is that IP address is 3480.211.226. Very important steps these are, how to connect that Google instance to the from remote desktop manager. Here you can write it's Windows 2016, so it's easy to identify. Click on add, file, save all, file, save all. So here is Windows 2016. Alright, let's connect to the server. So as already we have reset it, so let's so as of now we only configured the Windows Server 2016 server, so you need to give only the administrator ID and password, which we have been done the reset in our last video. You need to be remember the ID and password. Click on yes. So it will take little time to open, so it's in progress. So if you want to see the full screen, how to do this, just right click on it and click on full screen. So this is what your Windows 2016 server is started to open. Okay, here few basic things we need to be learned before just install the domain controller or just configure the Active Directory. So what are the basic things are required? So you need to be properly rename that server name, point number one. Point number two, IP should be your local IP of the server, and your DNS must be static, and your file name or your password should be a very strong password. So these are the very basic criteria we need to be remember before configure the Windows 2016 server with Active Directory. And also, what is that, what what is the use of this kind of Active Directory, why we are configuring, and what is this requirement. So generally it helps us to give the security of a lot of users computers. It helps for the centralized administration. It helps to manage and maintain for the infrastructures like backup, Active Directory domain services, domain name servers, and the DHCP, etc. So these are the very useful things which is helping us by installing that Active Directory. So now we are in the page where we can start to configure our Active Directory. So here you can see that configure this local server is there with a lot of options, a number of options: add roles feature, add other servers to manage, create a server group, connect the server to the cloud services. So that I will tell you one by one all these points, what is the role and what is the work of these particular options. So as today we are focusing on the Active Directory, so let's select on the add roles and features, right? So before we are starting to proceeding with the installation of Active Directory, let's do few changes which is very mandatory. You need to go to your ncpa.cpl. It's a very interesting thing. Right click properties, you just disable this IP version 6. Let's click on this. Here you need to be give the what I said, the DNS server IP must be static in the server before configuring the Active Directory. So let's know what is the IP address. So here you can see, if I click on this, click on properties, configure details, right click status. Okay, go to the status, click on details. So what is the IP is written here? 10.140.0.4 is the IP of the local IP. So basically in the VM instance there is two IPs of the server. One is the local IP, one is the external IP. So let's see how it looks like. Here you can see this is our Windows VM instance. Here is the internal IP is 10.140.0.4, and this is the external IP address. Using external IP address you can able to connect the VM instance using your remote desktop manager, and 10.140.0.4 is your internal IP address of the Windows server. So here you can see whenever we enter into the using that remote desktop manager, when we enter into the 2016 Windows server, we have checked the IP address manually. The IP same is reflecting 1.10.140.0.4. In the same time you can see in the VM instance also it is 10.140.0.4. So it's good to go. Now let's do one thing. Click on properties, click on uncheck this, click on IP version 4. use the DNS IP. What is the IP address? 10.140 dot, what is the IP? Let's just forget. 10.140.0.4. 10.140.0.4. Click on OK. Okay, now click on OK. So IP set has been done. So we are good to go with the domain controller installation. Click on Add Roles and Features. Before you begin, you just gone through the steps one by one. Click on Next. Here you need to be select role based or feature based on installation. Click on Next. Here you can see the name is Windows. We have given the IP address is 10.140.0.4 and the Microsoft Windows 2000 Server 2016 data center we have been configured in the particular VM instance. Next, click on the Next. Here we need to select two things. This is very important. One is the Active Directory Domain Services. This is known as ADDS. ADDS is the roles and features. You can get it and click on Add Features always. So this is the very important pop-up where you can see what are the features which has been bundled with this ADDS. The first is Remote Server Administration Tool, your ADDS, ADLDS tool, and ADDS tools like Active Directory Administrative Center and ADDS snap-ins and the command line tools. All these packages will come with this ADDS. So click, let's make add features. Then another thing is DNS server is mandatory, which you need to be select add as features. Click on continue. So now after completion of these roles, it will come to the next, that is features. If you click on the next, okay, here once the features tab will open, here you can see it automatically selected group policy management. Let it be. So we do not need to be select, because I'll let you know as per the requirement how to install the features one by one. So as currently we are focusing on ADDS, so don't just think about the other things. Let's focus. And group policy management is mandatory and it need to be selected. So don't uncheck this box. Click on next. Click on next. Click on next. Alright, now select install. So installation, it will take little time to install. Once the installation will be complete, we will proceed to the next things. Alright, so it's almost going to complete. Oh, it's already completed the installation. So let's close this. So what is the next step? So once it has been completed, immediately on the server page, on the dashboard, on the top right corner of the screen, you can see a flag with notifications. You need to select this notification. Here you can see post deployment configuration. So it means the ADDS has been installed completely. Now it's time for the configuration. Click on this. Click on this, promote the server to a domain controller. We need to select this. Alright, so now that actually logical and the configuration part has been started. The first page, during the deployment of the configuration, you can see there is three options are coming. One is add a domain controller to an existing domain. Here little conceptual things are coming. We need to be very careful and we need to be very conscious during selecting all this option. And also before that, we need to little understanding about the logical diagram and logical things about the forest and the domain. So here there three options are coming. Add a domain controller to an existing forest. As we already have not created anything, this is the initial. This is not the right option. Second, add a new domain to an existing forest. So we have not yet created any kind of forest, so this is also an invalid option. So let's create it, add a new forest. So we need to select this. So let me explain you a little more about it. What is this add a new forest? So you will select sorry, let me open paint. See here, first option is saying add a new forest. So what is forest? So forest is a logical boundary where we can give any name with a dot. Consider here we have been given uh, it's Windows 2016, so let's make it Win 2016.edu is the name. So Win 2016, fine, Win 2016.edu. So this is what the forest, where it's not actually physical, it's a logical thing. Inside the forest we are going to create a domain controller, so that I will explain you later in the next steps. So let's give the name Win 2016.edu, that based on your requirement. So I have created, I'm just I'm going to give the name as .edu. So now click on next. Okay, so here the page is coming where you can see the forest functional label and the domain functional label. So in the diagram you can see this is the forest. So let me write it. So this is the sorry. So this is the forest, is the logical forest, and this is a domain. Right? So if you'll see, if you select the forest functional label, this is the main boundary. Whatever you'll implement this forest, that will replicate to your internal domain. So before selecting this, you need to be very careful about it. So here if I'll select 2008, then all the roles and features of 2008 will come to the your domain label. So here better to select Windows Server 2016. This is what the latest version, and based on the whatever the roles and features are there in functional label and forest functional label, it will come to you the domain functional label. Even if you select 2008, whatever the features are in the 2008 server, it will come to your domain label. So I have selected here as 2016. Here the directory services restore mode of DSRM password, which you can give your administrator ID and password. Sorry. Right? Here you have to give alright. Next select this, close this, close this. Okay, so let's give the password, your DSRM password. Again you need to give the confirm password, then click on next. Okay, so just no need to select this delegation of DNS server. It's not been required as we are working in the Google Cloud platform, so it's not at all required. So click on next option. Here you can see to Win 2016 what is the forest name we have been created, that needs to be reflected over here. If it is reflecting the net BIOS, then it's correct. So see, after some time it's been reflected here. Click on next. Okay, so here the few things are there is the database folder, log files folder, and sysball folder. That all the active directory, there is a database folder is there, and here it's been given C folder as we are working in the cloud, so it's been selected C, but actually the database folder should be unique and it should be a particular dedicated folder with with a particular size limit based on the requirements. Similarly, log files also need to be dedicated folder, or the files need to be selected. Sysball folder is required to save all the group policies data. This is known as sysball folder. And also currently, as we are working, as what I told you already, we are working in the cloud platform, so we've been selected C, but real time scenario it's little different. Based on the requirement, we need to select the path to save all the files in the folder and the database. Click on next. So these are the very things what we have been done. The domain name we have given as 2016.edu. Your NetBIOS name is Win 2016, and the functional level is Windows Server 2016. Okay, so these are the full things which you are going to install just after some time. Okay, so installation it's just checking the prerequisites which is required for the domain controller. Okay, it's been checked, and this is the message we have been received all prerequisites checks passed successfully. Now we can click on install to begin the installation. So it's all good till this time. So next we can select on install. So now the installation is in progress. Just wait for a little time and we'll see how it works. It will take little time, so let's wait till it has been completed. See, it's been installed successfully. Here it's written this server was successfully configured as a domain controller, and you are about to sign out. Means what happened? The domain controller has already been configured in your Windows Server 2016. Now it's asking for the restart. So we have successfully configured and installed the domain controller in our 2016 server. What is the domain name we have given? We have given as Win 2016 .edu. So let's reconnect it. It just restarted. It will take little time to again connecting. So okay, it's disconnected. Let's try. Okay, it's successful to connecting now. So it's taking little time because the server is restarting after connected. Yes, after configure or install the domain controller. So let's it's been connected now. Let's give the ID and password to login. Right here, what we have to give. So what is our domain name we have given? Win 2016. Right now we cannot enter into normal local administrator ID and password. Now we can use our domain administrator ID and password to log into the system. Administrator, give the password. Yes, successfully. Now we are entering into the system. Our domains, our server, or you can say in our domain controller. So now is updating the group policy. Yes, now is successfully opened. Now we need to check after install the domain controller, what are the features has been added. How to check this? You can click on tools to see what are the features has been added after installing the Active Directory domain services. So here is Active Directory Administrator, Administrative Center, ADDS, Active Directory Domains and Trust, Active Directory Module, Windows PowerShell, Active Directory Site and Services, Active Directory Users and Computers, and other features as well. So it means our domain controller has been configured successfully, and ADDS installation also has been done successfully. So now how to check these things one by one, but before that you just need to be remember, as we are working in Google Cloud, so after certain changes, after doing the installation and configuration, the DNS IP might change. So we need to once check into it and we can proceed further. So how to do this? Go to ncpa.cpl, click on properties, click on TCP/IP version C. Here the domain name we have given 10.140.0.4. Let's see, is it the right IP of the internal IP? Let me check it again. Click on Google. Yes, 10.140.0.4, 10.140.0.4. because after installation of ADDS, the DNS server IP will be changed, as we have given manually the first time. After restarting it has been changed, so we need to be remembered, we need to change this IP after the configuration, which will help us to install and to do the other activities in the Active Directory. Click on OK. Let's close this. Right? Okay. Here click on full screen. Okay, here we can see, remember the few commands. There is two ways. We wanna see the AD infrastructure, as such what we have done. So you just select, open the run window, click on gpmc.msc. Alright, so here you see the forest is win2016.edu. This is your forest name. And what is your domain name? The same. What is the forest name? Primarily it's same for your domain controller or the domain name. Your domain name is win2016.edu. So what should be your computer name? We have given the name as Windows, so it will be like your domain controller name will be windows.win2016.edu. So domain name is windows2016.edu, and your domain controller name is whatever the name we have been given for the server installation or the server computer name, that we have given Windows. Here you can see we have given Windows here. So Windows dot win2016.edu. This is our domain controller name. Let's check this. Windows E. Click on my PC, right click, properties. This is computer name is Windows we have given. So this is something very important. Before configuring anything, just I randomly given the name Windows, which might not be feasible. So based on your requirement, real time scenario, think about it and give proper Windows name. So what should be the full computer name after installation the domain controller? It is windows.win2016.edu. It means it has been done successfully and it's been configured successfully in the in the server 2016, the domain controller roles and features. Fine. Now we'll check one by one feature. So what we have been checked, gpmc.msc, we checked the forest name, we have selected the domain name. Site I'll let you know one by one how to create the site. So now don't worry about it. Let's understand the basic things. Next, so gpmc.msc, so this is the command. If you want to open it using that tool, so you can see group policy, Active Directory, computer management. Here is the option group policy management. If you click on this, the same page will open if you don't want to go through the command prompt or the run window. Now next is dsa.msc. Here you can see the users and computers. These are the very important and the basic commands. Using dsa.msc, here you can see your domain. If you go down, you can see your domain controller. That is very important. What is your domain controller? Here the domain controller is Windows, the system name. As such, we have configured only one domain controller, that's name is Windows. And very important thing is the users. Here you can see all the default users with administrator which has already been created. Using these users, we can create more users and the clients, and we can add the users names in our which need to be joined the systems in the domain, and we can implement group policies, we can create OUs, and we can start to manage the centralized system. So these are the upcoming things which I'm going to explain on the my upcoming videos. So I hope that you understood till this part. So let's practice at your home. This is nothing you need to be spent a lot of effort you have to give. Just it's a very basic things which will be helpful for you in your professional career. And I hope that you have been cleared till this part. So what we have been covered today, we have installed using these arts and roles and features, we have installed Active Directory domain and services, we have configured the domain controller, and we have seen how to check the infrastructure, AD infrastructure, how to check the users and computers using the gpmc.msc command and dsa.msc command. So I hope that it's good till now, and on my upcoming videos I'll create the clients machines, and I'll start to do the connectivity between the client and the server, and how it will be managed through server, and I'll help you to configure the other features. There is a lot of features out there, and I'll explain you about the other features and roles as well. So I hope that you like this video. If you have any queries till this, you can add it in comments. I will give my best to answer all of your queries. I hope from the last two videos I have received a lot of questions. Thank you so much that you guys are watching my videos, and even I am also working a lot on this, and even I am learning. I cannot say that I am the expert. So whatever the queries you are getting from this video till this video, you just raise your queries on the comment section. If you really like the video, you can like and subscribe, and I will help you. So thank you so much for your all kind of support and cooperations. See you in the next video.